Hi, it's Defending Elvis Presley fans want the truth. What I'm going to do is play something whilst people jump on. It takes a few minutes for you guys to get on. So my name's Louis. I'm a lifelong Elvis fan. I'm 57. I'm in Southwest UK near Bristol. I've been a fan over 50 years, and we defend Elvis Presley with Team Elvis. Team Elvis is a growing family, and we, with other Elvis channels, I like to think, defend Elvis Presley against anything that's been said about him that is not true or unfair or portrays him in a bad light. So let's give you guys a while jump on. So I think what I'll do, we're going to concentrate on Priscilla again. Let's have a look. Now we're going to carry on with the Barbara Walters interview, but I thought whilst you guys are, hi Jean, hi Emily, we're going to carry on with the Priscilla stuff. I wanted to try and compare. This just popped up on my things. Hang on, let me just play this, see what it is. It's showing Finley and Harper. Let's have a look. Why can't we hear it? It just popped up on my... There's a channel called Elvis-Ponds. I wonder why there's no sound. Let's have a look. Let me click on it. And he's got lots of things. Yeah, Elvis, it's called Pond 5, and it concentrates on things with Riley and the twins. Let me just play a couple of them, give you an idea, but then we'll get back to the topic. Sort of comparing them there. So look. I don't want to play too much. Because the music will get blocked out. Let's see if I can turn down the music a bit. Look. Pond 5. Have any of you heard of that, guys? Pond 5. And it concentrates on Riley and the twins. Interesting. Let's just play a couple more. It's just come up on my feed now. Because the truth is, we do need to learn a lot more about Finley, Harper, and Riley, because they are the new blood, the bloodline of Elvis. So, hi Emily. Pond 5, it's called. There's that's Riley and Danny having a bit of a dance in the car. There's a bit of Lisa Marie there. Yeah, loads of stuff on it. Do you know, I've only just found this. You've even got one of Navarone smoking weed. Probably boasting about it, but obviously I'm against weed. I need to turn down the music, but I mean, she is a beautiful girl, isn't she? They're sort of comparing her face to Lisa, aren't they, there? Interesting. So just a couple more, guys. I've only just come across this. I just find this interesting. Riley's funny moments. Sorry. I think this was at Gracelands during the filming of the Christmas special, and it's just them giggling. Have a look. See if there's any moving. It's just unusual. It's got Elvis, a mimic of Elvis weightlifting. It's obviously not him. crazy, isn't it? The things that you see now are so weird.
Presley's 14-year-old granddaughters, Finley and Harper, after the
It's unusual.
Who is Michael Lockwood? Michael Lockwood was Lisa Marie Presley's fourth.
Right.
Who is Michael Lockwood? Michael Lockwood was Lisa Marie Presley's fourth husband. They were married in 2006, then became separated in 2016. They were legally divorced in 2021. They together have twin daughters named Finley Aaron Love Lockwood and Harper Vivian Ann Lockwood, who were born on October 7, 2008. Lockwood graduated from Highland High School in Bakersfield, California in 1979. He became a guitarist at a young age and moved on to have worked with people in the music industry such as Carly Simon, Fiona Apple, Bijou Phillips, Alana Davis, Ben Taylor, Leona Nace, Susanna Hoffs, and Michael Penn. In 1985, Lockwood joined the group Lions and Ghosts. They disbanded in 1989 after a second record was released.
Interesting. I mean, I know you guys got very strong views on Michael Lockwood. We can't ignore that he's the father of Finley and Harper. We can't ignore it.
The horrible false allegations made about Michael Lockwood sure didn't.
Yeah, so obviously there was allegations made against him. Let's see what Pond 5. Pond 5, I hope you don't mind me playing some of your things.
The horrible false allegations made about Michael Lockwood sure did a number on his image, but those close to him knows he's the perfect gentleman and seldom misses an opportunity to buy flowers for the women in his life.
Is that true? I don't know anything about Michael Lockwood. Riley on Christmas and Greyson was wearing Elvis cross necklace, and I don't think no one ever mentioned that. I spotted it right away. Oh, that's interesting. She was wearing Elvis's cross necklace. Wasn't there a thing where she had his guitar strap? Is that right? On the on her new Netflix series. What else we got here? While we're on it, I may as well just look at a few more things. It's Finley. It's funny, isn't it? They're gonna. He's obviously I'm guessing that he's taking a lot of this. I'm guessing he's taking a lot of this off their Instagram because they've got an Instagram.
The leaves grew together. The leaves are
There's Danny Q.
Normal one. Look what they look like. This. These were like twins. You see what I mean? They're together. They fused into a heart. See? They're supposed to be individuals.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, it's for another day, but Pond 5, and it says the Presleys world exclusive. The Presleys world exclusive. Wonder what if I click on videos, I wonder what comes up. Happy birthday, Riley Q.
This month, Riley Keough, Priscilla Presley, and
Let's have a
Lisa
look.
Marie Presley's twin.
Right, let me pause it.
Presley and Lisa Marie Presley's twin daughter's father, Michael Lockwood, all celebrate their birthday. Riley Keough was born May 29th, 1989, and she turns 35. Priscilla Presley, born May 24th, 1945, is now 79. And Lisa Marie Presley's twin daughters Harper and Finley's father, who was born May 22nd, 1961, becomes 63 years old.
Interesting. So the actual YouTube channel is called The Presleys. I'm going to like that. I'll give him a comment. Great video. Quite informative, actually, because it gives us some details that we don't know about. What else is on here? I don't know. Lisa Marie Presley, family. Right, okay. Let me get it on a stand. Let's play a few, shall we, guys? I think they're worth playing because we're learning details, and they're quite short. Okay.
This video has never been seen by the public and is exclusive to our channel, so if you like our content, please click thumbs up and subscribe. Today, on the Presleys. Elvis Presley family summer outing with Lisa Marie Presley's twin daughters, Finley and Harper, and their father, Michael Lockwood, and their grandmother, Vivian Lockwood, and a Priscilla Presley family associate. We see them arrive in Malibu, California in a black SUV. Lisa Marie Presley's twin daughter's father, Michael Lockwood, is seen wearing yellow shorts, a casual shirt, and a trucker hat. Lisa Marie Presley's twin daughter, Harper, is seen wearing dark shorts, a tie-dyed top, and a black baseball hat. Lisa Marie Presley's twin daughter, Finley, is seen wearing a light blue jumpsuit. Lisa Marie Presley's twin daughter's grandmother, Vivian Lockwood, is seen wearing a sun hat, purple tee, and red shorts. A Priscilla Presley's family associate is seen wearing a white casual top and beige pants. Harper, Finley, and their father are observed unloading items from their SUV. Minutes later, Harper, Finley, and their father are seen walking along the beach. The twins' father now watches Harper and Finley as they play in the ocean. Harper and Finley are seen using their bodyboards. Finley looks at me and smiles. The twins are observed acting silly, and Finley looks at me and makes a silly face. Harper comes out.
Okay, guys. So Pond 5, the Presleys. Yeah. I hope you didn't mind me playing a few of his clips. Just seemed, if you want to brush up on Finley and Harper and Riley, it just seemed like quite a good YouTube channel. I'm guessing they're probably on Instagram as well. So look it up. Right, let's get back to the topic. We're gonna look at more of Barbara Walters' interviews with Priscilla, but I just wanted to see if there's something we can compare it to. So I was going to type in Priscilla Presley interview in the 1980s and just see if there's something we can compare it to. Yeah. Because we know we've worked it out. Barbara Walters has it in for Elvis. She does. It's clearly obvious. She just got it in for him. Yeah. So the interview is just on. How can I say it? It's just completely geared up with the help of Priscilla. They're both doing it. They're both doing the damage to make Elvis look bad. So let's listen to this one and see if it's any different. There's a couple here.
Not long ago that day in Vegas when you went for the unveiling of Elvis's statue. It was a touching moment. It was sitting on stage, knowing what we were doing there. It didn't seem real. Looking out at the audience, seeing all the people there, and having them play his music. I can't even put it in words. It wasn't right. It was beautiful that they were presenting this statue, but it didn't feel right. Elvis wasn't there. Do you get any special feelings if you turn on your car radio or turn on your house radio and hear Elvis's music? Oh, absolutely. Because I know what was going on during all the songs that were being recorded at the time. What was said, what the feeling was toward the song, if he should do the song. So the memory of what was happening during that time comes up. And it's difficult. It's difficult listening to the records. It's difficult. Your mind starts to wonder. It starts to go back. And again, you try to think, well, that's not Elvis. But you can't escape it. I'm curious to know, did Elvis at any time sit and discuss with you his performances? Sure. Oh, yeah. There was some he loved, some he hated, some he didn't want to do, some he had fun with, but Elvis was a perfectionist. If a performance didn't go like he wanted it, he'd be upset for days over it. Could he accept criticism? Not really. No. If it came from him, yes. I think he always knew what he did. Did all of you hide, let's say, reviews? Yes. You hid reviews from him? Absolutely. Did he not ask any of you at any time? Did anybody say anything about me? Yeah, what would you say to him? They were great. Wonderful reviews. They were just great. They weren't the best, but hey, it's okay. Why did Elvis surround himself with what we affectionately term the Memphis Mafia, the boys who constantly, I believe, lived with you and him what appeared to be morning, noon, and night? He was comfortable. He was comfortable. He was secure. He knew everyone. They knew him. He was able to do what he wanted, when he wanted. Everyone understood. He could throw his temper tantrums. No one would condemn him. He was at ease. He was around people that were with him for a long period of time, where most people have friends and may see them throughout a lifetime, here and there. Elvis liked his friends with him because then you can share and you can do and be who you want. He loved that. He loved having his family and friends around him. Priscilla, was he not at ease meeting new people? No, he wasn't. He wasn't comfortable having someone that he didn't know very well come in. If you had a problem, could you sit with Elvis? Would he take the time to listen to what was aching you? And could he comfort you? I very rarely went to him with any problems. It's a very strange relationship. It was a love, but I never wanted to upset him because he took it so hard. If I were to come to him with a problem, it would hurt him deeply. So I worked it out myself. That must have been very tough on you. It was tough. But you make it, and you're able to weigh what you want most. Elvis's happiness meant a lot to me. Did Elvis change when Lisa was born? The father image came out in him like I can't tell you. I mean, I just never thought that when you see him on stage and you see him with a baby and through her life, how he handled it was beautiful. If there's just one thing that you would like Lisa to remember most about Elvis, what would that be? Oh, gee, so many things. I think his humbleness toward people.
Hi, Helen. Okay. Right. I've got nothing. There's nothing in that makes me want to jump up and now this, it says here this was recorded by Rona Barrett, the interviewer, and it was in 1978. So at that point, we're just having a little look. We're watching together as Team Elvis with me at home in my kitchen. She doesn't seem to be, in 1978, she doesn't seem to be so anti-Elvis. What do we agree that was 1978? Because I don't know. Let me just pause it a minute. Let's just see if there's any other information. Does that sound right to you? She says he has a temper. She says he doesn't like being having his. He doesn't want to be disagreed with. Yeah, he doesn't really want people's opinions. She says she doesn't want her to go to him when she has problems. He prefers that she resolves them himself. But there's nothing which surprises me, because he does seem to me he's the kind that wants to help. Now, I remember listening to Jerry Schilling. Jerry Schilling said that Elvis was a really good listener. Yeah, he would often try and get involved and help the Memphis Mafia with their personal problems with their wives, etc. But there's nothing in that makes me go, oh my God. So there's a big change from 1978 to 1985. The 1985 interview with Barbara Walters is just horrendous. Yeah. Let's try another one. Yeah. Let's try another one. See what she says.
Channel 5's entertainment reporter J.C. Corcoran of KSD-FM is going to join us every Thursday. Today, we begin our new segment as Priscilla Presley is backstage with J.C. Nice to have you.
You better treat this as something important. I put on a clean shirt for this, okay?
And J.C., we are impressed.
Name we. I need names here. Well, I was in Hollywood last weekend to talk to Priscilla Presley about her motion picture debut in the Christmas release, The Naked Gun, which we'll talk more about in the upcoming weeks. Indeed, it's been a long, strange trip for Priscilla, who was once married to the king of rock and roll. Well, now with story after story and book after book about Elvis popping up, the conversation turned to her own accounts of the way it was. I want to ask you about biographers. You've written a biography, and lately, some biographies are coming under fire. We won't mention his name. But since you have written one, why is there so much controversy, do you feel, about biographers and biographies?
Oh, boy. Now you're getting into a question. But let me just settle one thing really quickly. My book that I had out wasn't for me. It was basically I was taking the responsibility because a book had come out and had did so much injustice that I felt I took it upon my responsibility to correct it all. And I didn't want my daughter going down looking at that book thinking that this was the last that was ever written on her father, that I had to assume that responsibility. That was the only reason why, was to correct all the injustice that was done on him in that particular book. Now, you get your other writers that come out and they capitalize on it, and they, think that they have a right to come in and, do such a book. And I feel that there's an injustice in that area too, and I can't validate that in any sense.
Well, Presley makes her motion picture debut in The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen and Ricardo Montalban. It opens December 16th, and she is very funny in this movie, which comes from
Nothing to say about that. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking. Let's see what else we can find. Here we go. Tom Snyder.
1973, 5 years after they married, Priscilla left and took up with her karate instructor. People close to Elvis say he never got over it. Of all the women in the world who fell for Elvis Presley, he chose this one. Meet Priscilla Presley, the only woman Elvis married and the woman who bore his only child. They met when Elvis was in the service, stationed in Germany. Priscilla was only 14. She was called an Air Force brat. In 1973, 5 years after they married, Priscilla left and took up with her karate instructor. People close to Elvis say he never got over it. Now, Priscilla and their 12-year-old daughter Lisa are on their own. Priscilla does television commercials and is studying acting. This fall, she'll host a program about animals for ABC. From Los Angeles, Priscilla Presley.
It was during that time when your father was in the Air Force and Elvis Presley was in the Army that you two first met. Could you tell me how that happened, where it was, and what the circumstances were?
Gee, it was, a month after I arrived in Wiesbaden, Germany. I was sitting in a snack bar. It wasn't really a snack bar. It was just a place where a lot of the people would used to go and have hamburgers and Cokes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And a gentleman came up to me and asked if I'd like to meet Elvis. And I thought he was kidding and said, sure, yeah. All right, now what? And he says, no, I'm really serious. I go to his house a lot, and would you like to go? And I said, I still didn't believe him. And then it was another day that I was there, and he was also there. He said, I'm serious. I told him about you, and he'd like to meet you.
Let me just pause that a minute. So, yeah, obviously, she's just described the introduction to Elvis, how it happens. Don't forget, we have, in this book, even though we're not completely happy with this book, I don't like the title Child Bride either. I just don't like it. Suzanne Finstad has been quite derogatory publicly about Elvis, so I've got issues with Suzanne Finstad, the author. But there is an alternate reality, many of you know it, that isn't how they met, and that it was pre-planned. There was a friendship with Cary Grant, and it was like almost premeditated that she wanted to get to meet Elvis with the help of Cary Grant and even her own parents. So let's just keep going, guys.
That's exactly how it happened. And I asked my parents. My parents were very leery. Didn't think, had really checked him out to see if it was okay. And I went, and from that moment on, we started seeing each other. I didn't know at that time if it was ever serious. I mean, it was just something. He was very lonely, and I occupied a lot of his time. I mean, he had
look, I just want to jump into that comment. Yeah, I'm only going to jump in if something gets my attention. She says he was very lonely. Now, of course, he was grieving for his mother. yeah, who had died whilst he was at basic training in, I think, 58. But lonely for his mother, definitely, yeah. But he had a lot of company in that house that they rented in Germany. He had friends and family around him. Even I heard he was seeing the secretary, yeah, that was in Germany at the time. I think he was still with Anita on the phone mainly. I read somewhere that the Colonel Tom Parker didn't want Anita to come to Germany. I don't really know why. Anita would. So was Elvis lonely in 1959 in Germany? He'd rented a house. He'd surrounded himself with friends and family. I don't know. So you get the impression when she's talking that he was literally on his own. Oh my God, I've been shipped to Germany. He made a lot of friends in the army, He actually enjoyed his time serving for his country. So lonely, missing his mother, I definitely accept that. And let's keep going.
He had a great care for me. I guess after we saw each other for the 8 months that we did, I figured I'd never see him again. I didn't think I ever would. And then he started calling me and kept the relationship going. And I'd hoped to see him again, but I didn't see him until 1962 when he called and asked my parents if they would allow me to go over there and see him.
Right, at least, right, okay. Well, that's one of the first things that show a bit of a timeline that I've watched. Now, what do I keep saying to you guys? They only knew each other for 6 weeks. We don't know if there was any kind of relationship. I dispute it. I don't think so. I think that they became good friends in as close as you could get in 6 weeks. I think Elvis may have poured his heart out to her, worried about his future, worried about being forgotten by the fans, of course, grieving over his mother. But she clearly says there, I didn't speak to Elvis again until 1962. Now, remember, 1959, they met. So that's a very large gap. Now, I keep saying this to you guys. I think she's probably was 17 plus by the time she gets to Graceland for the holiday. She went there a couple of times, didn't she? But my point is this, is that if you watch these interviews, like the Barbara Walters interview, she says, I was 15, blah, blah, blah. No, actually, Barbara says, oh, you were 15 when you moved over to Graceland, blah, blah, blah. I think even Terry Wogan said it. Well, we've just got proof here. Elvis didn't speak to her. He knew her for 6 weeks. They were just friends, in my opinion. Obviously, her book says different. And then she's just admitted that he didn't phone her until 1962 to supposedly speak to the parents, to ask if she could visit Graceland. So can we see here, we're starting to understand some of the lies. Yeah, some of the lies, yeah, because she does insinuate that she moved to Graceland around 15, 16. I think what tends to happen is the interviewer asks the question, oh, did you move over to Graceland when you were like 15, 16? Yeah, and she just sort of goes along with it. I think even in the book, Elvis and Me, I think even in that, it mentions the age 15. So this is the bit where the public, I think, are being manipulated into think she's much younger when she visits Graceland and actually eventually goes to live at Graceland, staying with Vernon. So let's just keep going.
Going to LA. I was still in Germany.
At what point did you move to Graceland?
I moved to Graceland when I was close to 16.
Here we are. Let's just rewind that.
I moved to Graceland.
So this is a blatant lie, yeah? So I got a feeling I've seen this covered on Rare Elvis Photos on something he did. But anyway, let's do it, yeah?
And then he started calling me and kept the relationship going. And I'd hoped to see him again, but I didn't see him until 1962 when he called and asked my parents if they would allow me to go over there and see him. Over there meaning going to LA. I was still in Germany.
At what point did you move to Graceland?
I moved to Graceland when I was close to 16.
Okay, right, okay. I mean, that is so blatant. She even says close to 16. She basically is saying that she was still 15 when she went to Graceland. Now, the wording has been manipulated because she says, oh, I saw him in 62 when he phoned me. Well, phoning you isn't seeing you. Now, I do think she did visit Graceland twice before she eventually moved there in 1962. So, can someone give me her date of birth? Do any of you know her date of birth? Let's together, Team Elvis. Let's do this together. She just said she was close to 16, so 15. How old was she? Right, thank you. Right, Linda and Emily, thank you. So let's work it out then. May. So she definitely was 17. Now, obviously, does anyone know what month that she moved? No, visited Elvis for the first time at Graceland. Does anyone know that? Probably not. But 100% there is a lie here. She did say in that, she clearly says that she was 15. Close to 16 is 15. We know she was almost definitely 17. Do you agree, guys? Because she berated him with letters, I don't think he would have ever reached out to Priscilla Bulow. She and her family were determined to weave the web to get him. He knew in the end it was a fairy tale. And Lisa, I have no doubt that she sent him loads of letters and she was sending him records. Yeah. And that probably got his attention. The girl that he briefly met for 6 weeks in 1959 was still messaging him. 2.5 years later, she hadn't seen him. She had changed from a young girl into a woman. Yeah. Now, if you go by Child Bride, many things went on after Elvis went back to America. Now, we know Elvis was filming GI Blues at first, making some albums on the Frank Sinatra special, but he also then carried on making other films, doing 2 to 3 movies a year in the 1960s. So let's just read Lorraine's write-up. Priscilla's birthday, Louis, is May 24th, 1945. She wasn't, I don't think she was 18. She was 17. All right, 18 in 1963, yeah. When she moved to Graceland, she was 21 years old, turning 22. She definitely wasn't a child bride. Right, Lorraine, let's just slow down one sec. She did go to Graceland to visit at least twice in 62. Yes, does everyone agree with this? Yeah, look, here we are. Annie has said she visited at Christmas 62. Now, as far as I know, definitely by 63, she was living with Vernon and Dee, yeah? Temporarily. So I would say she was probably about to turn 18 when she went to live, yeah? When she went to live at Graceland. So you're saying, now, I want to try and get close to so Lorraine, you're saying that she moved to Graceland when she was 21. No, they got married when she was nearly 22, yeah? May the 1st, 1967. So I would say that she moved to Graceland just before she turned 18. Does anyone agree with that timeline? Yep, so then Annie has got that she visited LA in 1962. I think that rings right with me. I just want to try and get it right. So Helen, spot on, Lessa. Her letters were sent in pink envelopes. Elvis knew they were from her. Yes, Louis, Priscilla definitely pursued Elvis. I believe that. It was around October the 10th, 1963. Thank you. Right, Lorraine, we're trying to get some dates. When she moved to Graceland permanently, she was 18 years old. Okay. That sounds good to me. Lorraine, thank you. Then she moved to Memphis in 1963, just before her 18th birthday. Okay. Now, Lorraine is slightly different. Lorraine is saying it was after her birthday, yeah? So Annie thinks it was when she was just before 18. Lorraine says it was after her birthday. So a grey area, but thank you. When she moved to Graceland in 1963, Elvis was still in Los Angeles. He, according to her movie, returned before she graduated. She may have already been 18, not sure. Thank you. Right, Linda, thank you. Okay, interesting, guys. We're doing it together. This is what I like about us coming together every day, that we can watch these interviews together as a team, as Team Elvis, and we can learn as we go. It's actually very interesting. We can pick up on our mistakes, each other's mistakes, and put each other right with our own research. So thank you, guys. Let's keep going.
To live there and to continue your schooling. What kind of an arrangement was that they worked out?
The arrangement was that I was going to a Catholic school, all-girl Catholic school. And my parents, they arranged it together, my parents and Elvis, making sure that I got my education. And that was the arrangement. And I lived at Grayson, and his grandmother, well, the whole family lived there, so that's where I stayed.
Would you say it was a sheltered life, Priscilla?
I didn't realize how sheltered until later in my years, but later, last 2 years, I didn't realize that it was a very sheltered life.
What did your friends think? I'm sure you rode up in a limousine with all kinds of people, and they'd see little Priscilla get out of the car and walk in and say, wow, what's going on here?
Very few words were ever exchanged. Very few. I mean, I went to school, did what I had to do, and left. I didn't really develop a friendship with anyone. Very few people asked me any questions. It was done very secretly. I was dropped off, and at 9 o'clock in the morning, I would go only 9 to 12. I wore a uniform, and I remember rushing and changing my clothes real fast because I didn't want to be teased by all the guys. Yeah, my uniform.
Did you ever want to rebel against that? Did you ever want to just break out of that and say, hey, I want to be me. I don't want this wall around me or this protection?
Not at that time. No? I don't think so. Not at that time. I was too young and just living. I didn't really think about it.
Let me just quickly. Let me just quickly jump in there. Now, this is the beginning of this thing that she was in a prison. There was a wall around her. And this is the interview. I forget his name. Let's have a look. Tom Snyder. Okay. I don't know anything about him. You guys may do. This is when what I keep saying to you guys. The interviewer does just as much damage to Elvis's image and reputation as Priscilla. Yeah. I don't always blame Priscilla. It's the interviewers. Now, remember that they have an agenda. They want to get viewing. They want to get headline news. They want fame, success. Obviously, they get paid to do the interview. So, guys, seriously, the interviewers have done just as much damage to Elvis's reputation as Priscilla. Now, I keep saying this, I personally think, see you, Patty, I personally think that, this is my opinion, that Priscilla Presley manipulates the interviewers. I think she charms them with her beauty. Very sexy lady. And I think that she doesn't have to say that much. The interviewer does it. Let's keep going.
Lots of presents, lots of goodies.
Yeah, but he spoiled everyone. He was just very generous.
When you and Elvis finally decided that your marriage was over, it has been written that even though it was over, you remain good friends. Is that a true statement?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't care what's been written. You know, we were always very close. We had a very good relationship. In fact, Lisa, our daughter, you know, was always felt very healthy that way because it was always as if we never divorced.
Following his death.
Right, hang on. Now, we've done this. I know I've said this again and again. I'm not convinced that they were friends. This is what I think. Let me just shut that door because I can hear my son on a game. Right. I want to try and... Okay, guys. I want to try and word this carefully because I don't want to come across like I'm just hating on Priscilla. I'm not a hate channel. I'm not trying to hate on Priscilla. I'm not trying to create hate. So let me try and give you, after everything I've read and listened to and interviews and documentaries, blah, 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 this keeps coming up. I was good friends with Elvis. We were better apart. Lisa Marie didn't know that we'd separated. Lisa Marie didn't know we'd had a divorce. Now, I don't believe any of it, but I want to say this. She was very young. What age was Lisa Marie? Hi, Lorna. What age? Hi, Mr. Chips. What age was Lisa Marie when Elvis and Priscilla had the divorce? Yeah, even though we know that they split up really a year before the divorce. But what age was it, guys? Can anyone tell me how old Lisa Marie was? I'll just wait for your replies. So 1968, yeah, February the 1st, 1968. Their divorce was official 5 years later? So she was probably 5, yeah? Now, could have been 4. Definitely could have been 4 or 5. Now, this is my point, guys. You've got this divorce. It's happening. Whatever the reasons, we know about Mike Stone. We know that really they'd split up in 72, hadn't they? Because it had all come out then. And then it took a while for the divorce to go through. There was a bit of arguing about money and cars and a motorbike and a property and, you know, spousal payments. But the bottom line is the divorce wasn't too bad in the way of money, the settlement. It was one I think Elvis was probably fine with, yeah? He felt it was fair. Obviously, he was gutted and horrified and upset with Priscilla's behavior because we know about Steve Peck, the dance instructor, and then a couple of years later with Mike Stone. You know, guys, I've said it again and again, that the way that she ran off with Mike Stone was just horrific. And the way she paraded herself around with Mike Stone and Lisa was just horrible. But this is my point, guys. Elvis wanted to be seen in a good light to the public. The divorce was official. I think she allowed Elvis to file for the divorce. Elvis was proud. He wanted to file for the divorce. Even though she was demanding the divorce, we know this because Mike Stone has admitted it in interviews that she made it very clear in 72 that she wanted a divorce. She may have even made it clear in 71. She was having her divorce. There was no changing her mind. I've even read reports that Elvis did try and change her mind, but she was not having any of it. So I have my gut feeling, my guess is Elvis wanted to be the one that filed for the divorce. So I do believe Elvis made sure that there was a very good front for Lisa Marie because she was so young, 4 or 5, that he didn't want Lisa Marie to be impacted by their divorce, as ugly as it was. And so I honestly believe that Lisa Marie didn't notice a massive difference at that age. Yeah. I also think Elvis, because he was worried about the amount that Priscilla will allow him to see Lisa, and he was worried about the amount of money and property and cars, etc., that she was going to demand, he kept a friendly face on. I think Elvis was very friendly, very civil to Priscilla. Yeah. And so when she says, oh, we got on better apart, we were better apart, Lisa Marie didn't even know that we split up. It was just a front. Honestly, I really believe that. It was a front. Elvis was too nice. Yeah. And this is what she's talking about. because there's no way, in my opinion, that they were really good friends. Not what we know. Not when we listen to the divorce settlements and just how barbaric her running off with Mike Stone was and parading herself in public, in restaurants and shopping, etc., out with Lisa Marie, even kissing in public. There's no way they were friends. And I can imagine Vernon behind the scenes pulling his hair out with anger. Even Elvis, behind the scenes, he must have been infuriated, very angry, very upset, very hurt. So do I believe they were good friends after the divorce? No. Do I think Elvis was very civil and polite and courteous, respectful and friendly on behalf of Lisa Marie because he wanted to keep Priscilla sweet? Yes, I believe that. Let's read some of your comments, guys. So I hope you understand my point. I did sort of try and say it yesterday. Right. So hi, Mr. Chips. Lisa would wonder, why is her mum kissing another man? Of course. Why is she not living full-time at Graceland? Yes, of course, yeah. I do think that she would stay at Graceland for weeks on end, wouldn't she? When she would stay with Elvis, it wasn't like a couple of days a week. It was for weeks at a time. And when he passed away, she spent the whole summer there. I heard this. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. How can you be friends with someone when you're trying to take their home and everything they've worked for? Interesting, but not believable. Lisa, I will say this. At first, she wasn't doing that. When they had the divorce, 72, 73, it was a much simpler divorce settlement. Wasn't it? He was going to refit an apartment, something to do with her sister as well. The money we're talking about wasn't massive. Wasn't it $100,000? Wasn't the spousal payments $1,500? It was a much more sensible divorce. She wasn't after the lien, the charge on Graceland, the deed of trust that was created because Elvis couldn't afford the terms of the second divorce settlement. That wasn't in the mix at the time of the divorce. So your comment isn't correct if you're talking 1973. But as the divorce, when the new divorce, when she goes back and demands more money and she gets the divorce settlement reopened because she'd already agreed not to go back for a second divorce settlement, then it gets very ugly. Then there is a thing almost where she's taking Elvis's home, or at very least a charge being placed on Elvis's home, the home he bought for his mother. So then it gets very ugly. Yeah. So, and I think when that was going on, who knows why she decided to do it? Who knows who put her up to it? Did she put herself up to it? There's no way they were friends when things went sour like that. I don't care what anyone says. But yes, the public face. Elvis, we know on one of his concerts, tries to explain to the audience, this is what went wrong. We spent too much time apart. He praises Priscilla. Elvis's girlfriend is there when he's doing this. So Elvis always tried to keep the public happy, didn't he? Which would also help Lisa Marie see things didn't seem so bad. Yeah? Do we agree with that, guys? Right, let's just read your comments. Elvis would have... Let's have a look. So this is Linda. Elvis would, as we know, never have left Priscilla desperate or broke, or regardless of any settlement. Yes. And Linda, this is why there was no need for the second divorce settlement. Elvis was always going to make sure Priscilla had plenty of money for her and Lisa. Always. And this is why it was so greedy and horrible. I hate the second divorce settlement, as you know, guys, infuriates me. Oh, thanks, Jean. I wouldn't say I'm a teacher. I think we're learning together. I think we're students. All of us are students. I get many of my facts wrong. I'm no expert, but I try. I love learning with you guys. I do like that. Right, so Tracy. Hi, Tracy. We haven't seen you on for a few days. Priscilla's third visit was March. Right, here we go. This is interesting. Tracy knows her stuff. Priscilla's third visit was March the 2nd, 1963. She was accompanied by her father to LA, where Elvis was filming Fun in Acapulco. Priscilla and her stepdad went to Graceland's, where he then left her with Vernon. Okay, so that tells me there was 3 visits, yeah? The last one being in March. And now, Tracy, I asked you, when did she move into Graceland's? I know she stayed with Vernon and Dee. What month was that? Yes, 1963. What month? So the 3rd visit, she was still 17. Yes? Actually, no. No, she could have been 18, because you've just said March 63. Yeah, so she would have been 18, yeah? When she visited for the 3rd time. Okay, that's good. We've got an age. They are both to blame, Louis. The interview is supposed to be a journalist, and a journalist's responsibility is to find the truth, not just believe what they've been told. And it's also Priscilla. Yes, I agree with that. But the other thing that is wrong with the interview, this is what I don't like, and this is what they all do it. Barbara Walters did it massively. They lead it. Oh, this happened. That happened. Why did you let this happen? Why did you let that happen? That's not how you should interview. You should be asking what happened, when it happened. You should be asking, not telling. And there is a mixture of telling and asking here. Not so bad with this guy. He does a bit of both. But Barbara, she was telling. This happened, that happened. I repeat, the interviews did just as much damage as Priscilla. Even Piers Morgan, he still, the way he questioned Priscilla, I've got very strong views about that interview. Was it this year or was it 2023? He does more harm in his questioning than Priscilla. Priscilla actually is pretty careful how she answers Piers Morgan's questions. Piers Morgan, the things he says, I don't like it. Let's have a look. So let's just check these last couple of comments. Just make sure I haven't missed any, guys. Right. Okay, quite a few little comments I've got to read here. Let's just go. Let's have a look. Okay, so she had a copy of one of her students so she could pass her test to graduate. Yep, I've read this. Emily, I read an article where Elvis's cousin stated Elvis would constantly ring Priscilla whilst with the Kardashian because he was worried about different men around his daughter. Now, I've heard a few things about Robert Kardashian, but is he the one that may have put her up to a second divorce? Is he? I've had a few disagree with me on that, but he was this massive lawyer, wasn't he? Solicitor, lawyer, whatever you call them, attorney. So I don't see any reason why not. Why wouldn't have they why wouldn't have Robert Kardashian and Priscilla had a conversation about a second divorce, going back for more money, more property? Yeah, why not? More spousal payments. So my common sense says that he was part of the reason that she went back for a second divorce. Is it, with the divorce depositions and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, you're never going to get away from commercials. I told you what I do. I pay 16 quid a month and I have no commercials, but only when I watch things. Only when I watch things. It's worth it for me because the commercials do my head in. Right. She finished her school in Memphis and graduated when she was 18. Thank you. It is well known that Vernon always worried about money. The lien must have hit him hard. Yes, massive. He went crazy, trust me. Anyone would have. Come on, if someone put a lien on my house here that I own, someone put a lien on it, I'd go mental. I'd go crazy. She found 4 years. She was 4 years old. They actually separated in 1972, and it's ridiculous for her to make the climb. Her and Mike Stone being seen so publicly together. It is. I got a feeling they were separated in 71. I think the affair was going on I think it went on longer than people think. I think it came out maybe even just before 72. I don't know. It's still bad though, isn't it? Decorator for one of California's houses told her that she could get also Mike Stone had no dollars. Yeah, and I've heard about this apartment that was decorated. Agree, Tracy Keenan, her parents had been awfully eager for their daughter to be with Elvis and to agree any of it. Elvis deal with her because of Lisa. Let's have a look. Yes, yeah. He kept it nice for Lisa. If she didn't have Lisa Marie, Elvis would put her in the past just like any other woman. 100%. If there was no Lisa Marie, everything would have been different. 100%. That was full of crap because of her mother was kissing another man and living with him at the time. How do you explain that to Lisa? No. I don't think anything. I see what you mean. Gene, you have a good point. Right, I understand now. Right. So no matter how nice Elvis was and how he buttered things up and made things okay, Lisa would have seen that, of course, she was with and living with another man, and she would have seen the fact that Priscilla and Mike Stone were in love and together, or infatuated, call it what you want. But you have a very good point, Gene. So when Priscilla is saying we were good friends, we were better apart, I'm saying, well, hang on, Elvis tried to butter things up for Lisa. You have a point. You have a point. There's, I think there's a grey area because obviously when, she would have been very young at first when the separation first happened. Time then passes, and Lisa is a little bit older. It's a funny one, isn't it, guys? To see your mum in bed with another guy, kissing and going shopping with another man when you know your father is at home. It's complicated, isn't it, guys? It just makes me feel sad for Lisa. Elvis was always gracious no matter what was going on in his life. He had class and morals, and that some of his people in his life didn't possess. He did. I will say this, Lisa, I don't want to whitewash Elvis. He was unfaithful as well. And whenever I say that, I get you lot all telling me off. In my opinion, Elvis was unfaithful as well. I'm not going to, I agree that during the wedding, during the pregnancy, he was faithful. But before and after, no way. In the 60s, when she moved over, Elvis was no angel. After the Steve Peck affair in 68, Elvis went back to seeing other women. So come on, guys, let's try and be fair. Let's not completely be totally biased. And I'll lose a couple of subscribers now for saying that, but I want to be fair, guys. So let's have a look. So let's have a look. Elvis was always gracious no matter what was going on in his life. He had class and morals, and that's it, right? Okay, that's from Lisa. So then we go to Jean. I'm sure Lisa Marie went to her father and asked a lot of questions. Yes, don't they? All kids do, don't they? That's good. Thanks, Jean. Yeah. So Emily thinks probably she was 4 when they separated. Poor Lisa Marie. Tom Snyder's reputation was that he was an aggressive, hard-hitting interviewer and saw his show regularly back in the day. He sure wasn't with her. Piers Morgan has always been easy with her. Yeah, he has. I think Piers Morgan is smitten with Priscilla. That's just my opinion. Louis, love how you're breaking down for everyone, shedding the light and exposing the untruth. Thanks, Lisa. What I'm trying to do is, because I'm not a know-it-all, I definitely get things wrong. I try and use my common sense a lot. I want you guys to disagree with me and put me right so that we can come to sort of our conclusion together. We're watching these interviews together, yeah? And it's very much a team Elvis, yeah? Not Louis knows everything. So that's how I come at it, yeah? I don't know if she knew Robert Kardashian at the time. I agree that she didn't know him at the time of 73, maybe, yeah? But as far as I know, the second divorce settlement came later. Not it was still going on in 77. It was 77 that the charge was placed on Graceland when they created this deed of trust, because Elvis couldn't afford to make these payments to Priscilla. So they had to come up with a way of Elvis doing it in installments. We know she was also demanding a percentage of his royalties and other things. So, no, she knew Robert Kardashian. When this plan came up to, I think they had to create divorce depositions. I'm no expert. When this plan came up, she had to accuse Elvis of fraud and lying, saying that he'd hidden his assets, his income. She had to go to a judge and get the judge to agree, as far as I know, to reopen the divorce so that she could go back for a second divorce settlement. So I think she knew him. I could be wrong, though, guys. If I'm wrong, who would have advised her to go back for a second divorce settlement? Because I could be wrong, guys. So she met Kardashian in 75, okay? But the divorce settlement was definitely going on then, wasn't it? It was definitely going on then. Yeah, it went on for quite a while. The second divorce settlement. Jane, they never do. It's puzzling. The real journalists never do, yeah. He put up a front. Let's have a look. He definitely did put up a front for the sake of Lisa. He did. Let's have a look. So Mr. Chips, Priscilla Bueller is documented, sure for sure. Right. Let's have a look. So totally agree. Lisa, Priscilla tried to take the shirt off Elvis's back, and in my opinion, fighting over money contributed to his early demise. Well, that you guys know how I feel about 1977. It was a brutal year for Elvis, with this hammering for money, the charge on Graceland, percentage of the royalties, which to me forced him to sell his recording rights pre-1973. Then you've got the Memphis Mafia tell-all book, Elvis What Happened, Red West Sunny and Dave Hebler. And you've got his chronic illnesses where he needs a massive amount of medication every day just to get through the day. 77 was a tough year and a complicated relationship with Ginger Aldrin as well. So it's heartbreaking. 77 was heartbreaking. Difference is Elvis didn't trash Priscilla, but Priscilla did trash Elvis. Very true, Linda. Elvis never badmouthed Priscilla. In fact, I've never heard Elvis badmouth anyone, ever. Helen, yes, Lou, we have to be fair. Elvis loved women and was so gorgeous, and they left him to, yeah, come on. Yeah, it's the same when we talk about medication. Come on. He probably took too many sometimes. We just have to be fair. Yeah, otherwise we look silly. If we're just completely biased, we don't come across genuine and credible. So we have to be fair. Yes, my approach is honest. I do try that. And sometimes I offend people, and I don't mean to. You cannot put too much emphasis on peace of mind. Elvis was having to work like a donkey, and his pay, his ex-wife, constant demands for money. No one can live long under that strain. I agree with every point you've just made there, Helen. He was a workaholic as well. And he also felt that he had to. Too many people relied on him. So it says the first divorce defaulted in 72, and then a filing. Yeah, I know about the divorce defaulted, but in the end that was sorted out, wasn't it? The second divorce finalized 73. No. I know what you mean. There was a default thing, but no, there was a very, very harsh second divorce settlement after 73. They were still massively arguing it out, weren't they? The amount of money. Now, I'm no expert, but this went on until he died. Yeah. And even after he died, there was still the deed of trust, the lien had to be sorted, I think, when they were trying to make the decision. I'm guessing a bit now. When they were trying to make the decision to open the Living Museum at Gracelands, which had already been thought of before Priscilla came along, one of the financial complications with the lien on Gracelands had to be dealt with. And I think it was Amy Collett that gave me these details. Amy, if you're listening, it wasn't straightforward. That I'm no expert with finance, but that had to be dealt with before they could move forward with everything. Yeah. So, you know, if Amy ever joins our show again, I'm sure she'll let us know. She'll let us know. We miss Amy. We love Amy. Amy Collett, you're very welcome to come back and be Auntie Amy. We all miss you. You know that. Wasn't it her interior decorator who she became friends with that told her that she could go after Elvis for a second divorce settlement? Mr. Chips? Maybe. Yes, Gene, Elvis had too many people on the payroll. I love Elvis, but he was too generous, and this put a great strain on him too. It sure did. Hi, Tonya. Debbie, I think she wrote her book because the fans were finding out what she really was like, so she tried to turn the tables. Okay. Debbie, I think she wrote the book for money. I think she was going to get an absolute fortune, and she knew it was going to be a bestseller. I also think she saw it as an opportunity to rewrite history, because this book, which was supposed to put the wrongs to rights of all the previous books, was a rewriting of history from Priscilla's point of view. From Priscilla's point of view. I know this sounds very extreme, but didn't that happen in World War II? Someone tried to rewrite history. Yeah? This happened. A book written from Priscilla's point of view, her version of events, no witnesses, no proof, but then treated as fact for 40 years, 39 to 40 years. It's just not right, guys. Just not right. Helen, like Lamar Fike said, when Elvis died, you all wouldn't let him get up. PB is included in that and worked himself to death, people say. Now, Lisa, I've seen that interview. And I'll tell you now, I've been seeing a few things that Lamar Fike said about Elvis that I'm not happy with. So I want to do a live stream about Lamar because he, I feel, has said things he shouldn't have said. So, but he did say that. She could have gone after him for missed payments, yeah, but I think he passed away, didn't he? He passed away. We don't even know the actual amount. Some people say it was 750K. Some people say it's 1.5 million. Some people say it was 3 million. We don't know. We do know that he felt that he had to sell his recording rights because he couldn't afford to make the payments. And she was also demanding a percentage of his royalties as well. Jean says Priscilla would be nothing without Elvis. Isn't that true about everyone that Elvis knew? Yeah, seriously, all the people that spent their whole lives making money because they once knew him or worked for him or related to him or... Come on, guys. Now, I keep saying this. I don't mind. This is me at home, Louis the fan. I don't mind people making money out of Elvis as long as they're saying good stuff. As long as they're helping boost his image, his reputation, preserving his legacy. Fine, write all the books you want. Make all the documentaries you want. Make the movies you want. as long as it boosts Elvis. Anybody that is doing anything that makes Elvis look bad should not be making money out of him. Should not be. I'm not against people making money out of Elvis. I'm against people bashing Elvis, damaging Elvis. That's what I'm against. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, fact checked by Priscilla. There are no facts. Come on. I've already worked out. I'm going to do another chapter tomorrow. We've already worked out that nearly everything in this book isn't right, isn't correct, could be false. Literally now, when I read it, I start laughing. It's that ridiculous. Right. Yes, both Elvis and Priscilla Bueller made mistakes, but Elvis was crucified by Priscilla Bueller and he would have taken good care of Lisa and Priscilla Bueller, but that wasn't enough for the ex. That's what hurt Elvis fans the most. Fully agree. Great comment, Lisa. Great comment. Fully agree with that. Greed. In it, that's the word, greed. Two words I always use. Greed and cruel. Greed and cruel. That's what stands out. The book, in a newspaper article in 1978, Priscilla stated how disgusted she was that Elvis people were making dollars of Elvis, as she found it shameful how others were, and that she'd never do it herself. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen her say it. Yeah, in an early interview. It's laughable, isn't it? It's just laughable. Right, let's have a look. So we're nearly catching up. Let's have a look. Priscilla probably still thinks Elvis owes his spousal support. Helen. Priscilla probably still thinks Elvis owes her spousal support. That's funny. Yeah. Right. Larry Geller and Anne Margaret never said anything bad. They were excellent. They were excellent. Except for the salt. Larry, the salt thing that Elvis needed to take salt tablets to sweat. Larry did put that in his book, I think, which is nah. No. Elvis didn't need salt tablets to sweat. Joy Clark. I asked Charlie Hodge why he thought Elvis said, "Listen, Scylla," during It's Midnight. And he said Elvis never stopped loving her. I guess we will never know. I know about this song, and you guys have sent it me, and I've read the story around it. I'm not convinced. Aline is taking when something is owed money. Yeah. You can lie about it and it gets sorted in court. Perhaps Kardashian advised her to get more and how best to put pressure on. It's possible, Linda. I could be wrong, though, because I've had a few people disagree with me. I could be wrong. I'm no expert. Priscilla had damaged his legacy by her words and gets paid for it. Yep. That's a definite yes. His joy, someone who was there sitting at the table next to Priscilla, said Priscilla was laughing all the way to the bank. Elvis said, "Listen, Scylla." No, laughing and talking. Hence, Elvis said, "Listen, Scylla." Right, let me reread that. Hi, Joy. Someone who was there sitting at the table next to Priscilla said Priscilla was laughing and talking. Hence, Elvis said, "Listen, Scylla." There we are. Different version. Okay. Thank you. Emily, thank you. Sykes heard that he said, "Listen, Scylla," because she was talking through his show and not bothered about the show. And a couple of people said that. Right. Okay. Yeah. So we don't know the truth. Makes more sense, though. Right. Let's have a look. I'm going to sort of wrap this up in a minute. But I thought we could just play a little bit more of it. We're going to have to do a part 2. In the end, we haven't had time to go through the Barbara Walters stuff. But this is interesting anyway. We're going to have a little listen to it, and then I'm going to have to go. we're going for a big meal tonight. There's a lot of family and friends for my wife's birthday. So we're going for a curry tonight. So
what did you make of all the, I'm going to say the word opportunists, who were quick to write books, quick to put out pirated record albums, posters, other bits of memorabilia to make a fast buck? What did that do to you, and how did you feel about that?
I think that was the hardest thing in the world to deal with. People who were friends for so many years that you confided in. People, in fact, it goes on today. You know, these people who you do trust, to turn around and to do something like that, it's a low blow. It was a low blow for him. Those are things you just don't do. You know, you don't, or you hope will never happen to you. I mean, you're very vulnerable at that point in your life when you're in the limelight. And one of the most difficult things in the world is to explain that to a child, you know, who she cared very much about a lot of people who were in the group, and even, you know, today, to see these books being written, thinking that these were her friends, these were part of the family. Why, you know?
Has it been difficult for you to explain to her some of the things that have been written unfairly and erroneously about her father? How do you do that?
You just, that's Tom, that's really difficult. I mean, I keep as much from her as possible. She hasn't seen a lot, and she doesn't want to believe a lot of it. But again, you know, you say, hey, you know, he was a great person. He was wonderful. He was your dad. And how do you see him? And she just sees him as her dad, and wonderful and kind and generous, and not as they, you know, portray him.
I'm certain that since Mr. Presley died, a number of people might have approached you to write your version or your memoirs or My Life with Elvis or whatever the title might have been. You've resisted those suggestions.
Right.
Why?
Well, I don't feel at this time in my life why should I do that? I mean, I don't. I'm still living my life. My daughter's still living her life. He's had so much written about him that I think enough has been said. I hope the people, the public, will see him as a great entertainer and a great person, and not, you know, what people have portrayed him. I mean, there's so much untruth about a lot of that I couldn't see that. I couldn't see doing that.
Will the day come when you will sit down?
oh yeah. So I missed a bit of that. I had to read some messages, but what changed? What changed? Now, that interview isn't too bad. Yeah, she's being careful. She's not being too mean about Elvis. She's almost slightly being defensive, you know, defending him a bit. Yeah. What changed? What was the big change? Was it putting Lisa Marie into Scientology? Was it a new boyfriend? There just seems to me like there was a big shift where almost it felt like it was time to get revenge. Yeah? Now, I think the book was written in 1985. Is that right? Just something changed. Was it that she was had become almighty power at Gracelands and she was in charge of the new living museum? Was it that? Something changed. Was it she had failed in her career? Was it that she was angry that he moved on with different girlfriends, like obviously Linda Thompson? Something changed, that she came, where the claws came out, yeah? And really, the interviews became quite cruel, especially the Barbara Walters one. I think there's others that are quite bad as well. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Let me just press play.
Write the correct version that you and you alone know.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think what I'm doing is kind of observing a little bit. I'm kind of watching to see, you know, what's being done. Maybe there will be a time, maybe after I see a little bit more. But someone, I agree, needs to write the real truth. And I don't know. at this time, I can't say that.
You would have had every reason to begin your acting career a little earlier than you did, but you delayed it for a while. When Mr. Presley died, you said to yourself and to the people that represent you, this is not the time. What was the reason for that decision?
Well, so many people cashed in, I believe, on him and his name, and I didn't want that feeling out about myself. I didn't want people to think he's died off, and here comes Priscilla. She's doing the same thing, and which was I was going to do a career. I have a career before he even died. I had an agent. And when he died, I said, I can't do this.
This is a little dicey, but do you have to have a career?
No, I don't have to. I don't have to have anything. I don't have to have, it's my choice.
I mean, are you pretty well fixed?
Thanks. Yes, I'm fine. I want a career. I want to be productive. I want to do something with my life. I had a shop in Beverly Hills for 3 years, and it was very successful. And I sold it to my partner, and then I kind of sat back for a year or two and thought, gee, I really contemplated on what I wanted to do. And I don't enjoy sitting around. I'm very active. I like doing and experiencing everything. I'm adventurous. I like new things. So why not?
Were you up for the Charlie's Angels?
Yes.
Why would you do the thing on animals instead of Charlie's Angels?
Because that's what, again, I feel like I'm growing it's so educational. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'm trying to fool myself, thinking, yes, it can be done. I think it can be done. I enjoy people very much. I learn a lot from them. And I enjoy what I'm doing, especially right now. I'm doing a show this season, which has to do with animals. Now, see, that's something I enjoy doing. I love animals, so I'm doing the things I like to do.
Well, I think that's it for today, guys. But I think a very tame Priscilla. Let me just try and see if I can check what the year of that is. Yeah, 1980. 1980. Yeah. Something changed, guys. There was a turning point. If I was talking to Priscilla now, I'd say, what happened? That's what I'd say. I'd say, why did it have to become so brutal and cruel? Now, don't forget, in 1980, the horrible divorce settlement that no one knew about was kept secret. The second divorce settlement. Well, actually, it's possible that way back then it was in the press, maybe. I don't know. It's possible, isn't it? 1980. Generally, people don't know about the second divorce settlement. They don't know about the deed of trust, the lien that was placed on Graceland's. I think people like Amy Collett discovered these kinds of documents, yeah? And this is why we now know that the divorce was very cruel. So, she sat there. She's had a massive amount of money. Now, I think that's before the opening of Graceland's, because wasn't Graceland's opened in 1982? Is that right, guys? So she's not sat on the mountain at this point, really. Yeah, she's the trustee on behalf of Lisa Marie, and Vernon has passed away and allowed her to become the main trustee with all the bankers. I just think something changed. Something changed. I don't know what it was. It probably, was it the new boyfriend? Right, so in my opinion, her defense was for herself, getting the spotlight of herself and possibly seeing money out of Graceland and trying to defend it so people wouldn't be turned away by the bad publicity. I would rather... Is that Kate? Hi, Kate. I would rather have this version of her. You are so right. She was so different. Yes, Kate. Hi, Kate. A much tamer Priscilla. Almost likable. Yeah? You're welcome, Jean. Thank you, Jean. Yeah, my wife's... She's not a good morning person, my wife. She was very grumpy this morning. And but yeah, she's better now. She's looking forward to going for a curry. Don't forget she's on the chemo at the moment, so her mood swings are a bit all over the place. But we're going to have a lovely curry tonight. A lot of people are coming, so it should be lovely. The only thing that changed is that she wanted publicity for herself and the money, and then went with it. The jet setting around the world and living the high life had to have been expensive. Yeah, maybe when Lisa Marie was smaller, she lived a more of a calm life. But then once Lisa Marie gets a little bit older, then maybe she wants to live the jet set life, the Hollywood life, the California life, yeah, LA life. Who knows? If Elvis was sole owner of Grayson, the lien may have not have died with his death. I do think everything that happened in 77 led to him dying. A lot of stuff went on in 77. Everyone must have been aware how unwell he was, how seriously sick he was. Anyone that did anything negative in 1977, not just Priscilla. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll read that later, the Becks. Thank you. So that's it, guys. Really, we'll go through it. Let's have a look. It's an 18-minute interview. We're 10 minutes in. We're still going to go through the Barbara Walters stuff. I'm trying to not just do everything on Priscilla. Yeah. I don't want to come across as a Priscilla hate channel, or that we are trying to stir hate. So I am trying to pick other topics, which is pretty hard to do, mine, because you guys are so passionate to defend Elvis that it always keeps coming back to her and the Memphis Mafia. They're the two things, aren't they? You know, the Colonel Tom Parker is for me, there's not that much you can say about him, really, other than the way he stifled Elvis's career and his greed with the deal that he had, the 50-50 deal. It's not, that he didn't make the right movies. It's a bit boring, even with Dr. Nick. That's another topic. There's quite a few Dr. Nick interviews that I've watched and gone through, and I've made videos about them. There's only so much you can say with Dr. Nick. It always seems to come back to Priscilla and certain members of the Memphis Mafia as the main ones where the wrongdoing was done to Elvis. So anyway, guys, we're going to go. I always say the same thing to you guys. Thank you very much. If you want to buy me a coffee, hit the coffee button or send it on a super or to my PayPal. I love being thanked. I love it when you guys show that you appreciate all the work that goes into this. And it makes me feel good. I like a pat on the back. I do like a gold star. It makes me feel good. If you want to be a member, it's $1 a month. It's nothing. Please subscribe. Please like. And we are a growing family defending Elvis Presley together. Team Elvis, taking care of business is what we do. I like to do at least 2 live streams a day. Sometimes we do 3. So this is the second one we've done today. And I have been posting the live streams on my video channel as well. And they're not live. Yeah. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day. See you all later. We've learned a lot together today. I think we've learned together today. As I think Jean said, we're students. Take care, guys. Thanks for all your well wishes for my wife and my wife's birthday. It's much appreciated. See you all later. Thanks a lot. I'll give you a wave. You take care. All the best to you.